Morning. It's Thursday, year fives, and it is time for our maths. I've got my coffee here, my proud Hufflepuff mug, and it is our do now first. So let's have a look at these. All of these should be relatively in the bag from you guys now. So have a quick look. 616 nearest 10. Well, you can look at that. The number 16 is past 15, so it's going to be 620. I've written this really small today, sorry guys. 616 to the closest 100, well, it's 600, isn't it? Then to the nearest 1,000. There is no thousands, but remember, you look at the number before anyway. So it's past a 5, 6, so it rounds up. So the nearest 1,000 is actually the first 1,000. There you go. This one here, 2,225 divided by 2. Remember, we're estimating. You should know, well, you do know, that divided by 2 is half. If that 5 wasn't there, you just halve all the numbers. I mean, it's a little bit of a cheat way. You could round it to 2,000 and halve it as 1,000. You could probably get a bit more accurate. You can probably go, well, half of the 2's is going to be 1,100 and... why not just put 1,110? Yeah? Don't worry about the halving of a 5. It's going to be around there somewhere. Check your answers, see how close it is. But that's the point I'm trying to make. It's estimating some common sense, some logic, and it's a quick answer. Alright? Same with this one here, which I've definitely not given myself enough room for. So, 187 times 20. Well, that one can round to 20. And remember, we have times by 20 in class. Times by 10 and double it. So times by 10, so 1,870. And then because it's by 20, you've already got the 0 in there, but you need to times everything by 2. Okay? So underneath you add another one. So 2 7s are 14, 2 8s are 16, 17. There's an estimate. Yes, it was a quick calculation, but it's going to be a lot quicker than solving it. So an estimate, we're looking around 2,700. Okay. I mean, if you didn't understand what I just did there, I just did 870 and 870. Okay, just as a quick one. Pow. Next one's converting measurements. 450 meters is how many kilometers? So, there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre, so we're working with 1,000 here. So we're either going to have 3 more zeros on the end and say that there's an incredible amount of metres in just 1 kilometre, or we're going to divide, 1, 2, 3, because we need to divide the kilometre into metres, and it's going to be 0.45. You can leave it at 0.45, you can put the 0 on there as well. Okay, but the 0 is not actually telling you anything because there's no more numbers. So you can actually leave it at 0.45. How many centimetres in a metre? Well, there's 100. So what's 60? 1, 2. So 0.6. So 0.6 metres is 60 centimetres. Might do some closer work on this maybe in the week after. Week after it's half term, just remembered. Anyway, 4/10 is a percentage. Well, we know that 4/10 is the same as 0.4. It's 40 out of 100. 30% as a decimal is 0.3. 7/10 is the same as how many hundredths? 70. You've put a 0 on there, 0 on there. Boom. Oops, just hit the tripod. Draw a scaling triangle. That is, remember, a triangle with no sides the same length. Don't be too cocky with that because you can end up making something that's probably an isosceles. Name the shape, so it's that on your piece of paper. It is quite simply a non-polygon. Lovely. Right, on to today's task. I had a few of you send in some brilliant screenshots yesterday of using the that geo website that I found for you to help practice plotting coordinates. as of like yesterday, we're looking at all 4 quadrants. Yesterday was more of a have a play around, get used to the games, get used to the system. So yesterday was a bit of a play, an exploration. Today, you've got some tasks that are very much more year 5 in terms of what you're expected to try and do. So today is practicing plotting and reading a coordinate grid. Plotting coordinates. So if you go down to the bottom here, well, first of all, we've got our 4 quadrants. Don't forget, 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes anti-clockwise. And we've got our x-axis and our y-axis. So, my note here, always go along the x-axis first and then up the y. Or down the y, remember. And remember, you always walk to the stairs before you can go up them. And actually, that still works with 4 quadrants. You always have to walk to the stairs before you go up or down them. Okay? Otherwise, you're not at the stairs. So, the first question, and the main one for today, is can you write the coordinate points for each shape? So the triangle, the rectangle, the irregular pentagon. So the triangle's here. I'll zoom in just a little bit more so we can have a closer look at this. So, the 3 points you should have, you go along the x first, and it should be -7, 1. Then you should have -11, 2. And then you should have -9, -3. Doesn't matter which one you start on. There's no rule as to which one. It's not because it's the closest one. It's just, as long as you do all of them, there's no rule for which one you have. And just to make sure that you did them correctly, that's how you should have written them down. So, this is probably the first opportunity to show you why you put them in brackets. When you've got a set of coordinates, if they weren't in brackets, there'd just be a list of numbers, wouldn't they? Okay, so you've got to remember to put them in brackets to show that that is one coordinate, that is one coordinate, and that is one coordinate. Okay, so there's your triangle, and it should look like that. The rest, well, here's your rectangle, and then there's your irregular pentagon. The irregular pentagon, I left a coordinate that was 0, 0. Looks like a face. Because it is 0, 0. It is in that point there. Okay, so it is 0 across, and 0 on the y. Okay, but all those coordinates that you can see there are here. So if you want to check your answers, you can pause it there. Actually, press pause, and you can tick them off. The next bit. I'll bring the laptop closer. Don't need my piece of paper now. Predict the coordinates of a quadrilateral going across the 2nd and 3rd quadrants. This is basically, can you, because obviously we've not got the grid printed in front of us, can you predict where they'd go? So basically you need to plot a quadrilateral across the 2nd and 3rd quadrant. So it needs to be across these 2. So you need to make, well, how many coordinates are you going to need if you're doing a quadrilateral? 4. Doesn't have to be a square or rectangle, just a shape with 4 sides. So 4 coordinates. But it has to go across the 2nd and 3rd quadrant. Alright, so you could have 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and just join them up. But you need to make sure that they go in the right place. You can then check that it works on the website again. So you can load up the Geo website and check that where you put your coordinates is correct. Where's the oh, it's still loading. And then the last bit is simply go back on there and explore. Try having a go at plotting, drawing different shapes, inputting the coordinates. Can you do the whole thing by typing in all of the coordinates? I know Sam yesterday sent me a picture, and I sent it to Mr. Paxman. He got a Head Teacher's Award for using the website yesterday, and he'd drawn lots of shapes across the grids. He plotted them, which is brilliant to see, Sam, so well done with that. But the main thing today is, can you read the coordinates? If you've done that, because that might not have taken you too long today, don't forget we've got those games. Go on to yesterday's, click on the games, and carry on doing the 4 quadrants, because you're going to need the skill for tomorrow, because tomorrow's skill is a next step up. It's not simply reading the coordinates. Okay, so get yourself really confident with this today, ready for tomorrow. All right, but brilliant, well done.